been going through a Bill Withers series.
Come on, bro.
And our first sermon was Use Me Up. We were talking about being used by God. It's a good one. We went through just the two of us. It's such a classic. And we were talking about that special relationship between us and God. And then last week, we went through Ain't No Sunshine. And of course, there's no sunshine when the church is not there. Out of all the women in the Bible, the church is the greatest woman of all.
Yeah.
The greatest woman of all.
Come on, Justin.
Why are we going through these select songs? It's because these were all written by Bill Withers.
Yeah.
He had classic, timeless songs that are pure and pleasing, that any age group, any era, any generation could listen to and sing to it, and it'll have meaning every single time. These songs make you happy. They make you feel good. They're great songs. But today, we'll be going through this song, Lean on Me. The title of the lesson is Lean on Me.
Come on, bro. Let's go, Marvell.
You know, the question is, when do you want to lean? When do you want to lean? Well, you want to lean when you get tired.
Yeah.
When you're weary. It's when the day has been long. It's when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
This is when you want to lean. Rest. Take a moment. Pull away. It's when we're tired. Is you're so tired this morning?
Come on, bro.
The song doesn't say, lean on you. It says, lean on me. He's volunteering his services, his life to another. This is a very difficult thing to do because he's saying, lean on me. It doesn't say he's strong. So we don't know how Bill Withers is feeling in this song. He's just speaking to what another person is going through. And he's saying, here, I'm here for you. Mm-hmm. But see, the challenge in that is we don't want to volunteer our life or our shoulder for someone else to lean on when you need to lean on someone else. I have a brother. I have a couple of brothers, but I have one that's, in his nature, he can be a little annoying. You know what I mean? Okay. And it's because he's the baby brother. Okay. And maybe you guys understand some of this. Yeah. You're probably the youngest. Yeah. But you're good at being annoying, and it's good, It's actually good because it teaches you something about your relationship with God, right? You will bother your siblings until you get what you want. Yeah. And so oftentimes your siblings call you names, right? Like crybaby. Oh. Yeah. But you know what? We got to be a crybaby with God.
Yeah, we do.
So you need a baby brother or sister to teach you something about what you need to become with God.
Come on, bro.
My little brother is a big dude. He's not little anymore. Okay? Now he'll be running, doing things, playing football, basketball, frisbee, flat, whatever. And he'll come to me and throw his whole body. Come on. I mean, the whole, he's like, oh. I'm like, Myron, you're not small anymore. He's trying to break my back or something. Oh, man. And he's sweaty. Oh. And he's hot. Oh. I'm like, dang. Lean on Malik. Go lean up against that wall over there. Why you? And he's doing this, but you know what I don't do? I never push him off. Okay. I let him do it.
Come on, bro.
Even though
you don't want to.
Yeah. Afterwards, I'm like wiping off all the sweat. But you do it because you love him.
Come on.
I love the big guy. It says, lean on me. This is what the lyric says. Lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. It says, I'll help you carry on. Why though? Why would a person volunteer for you to lean on them? Why is he saying, I'm going to help you carry on? It says, because it won't be long till I'm going to need somebody to lean on.
Come on. That's right.
You see, when you understand that you're going to be in their shoes at some point,
Right.
you'll volunteer your services because you know you'll need those same services.
Yep.
Come on, bro.
I have 2 points. I actually have 3,
Okay.
but we're not going through the third one today.
Uh-oh.
My first point is lean on a while. Lean on a while. My second point is lean in the trial. My third point is lean back and smile. We'll be talking about that at leaders meeting.
Okay.
Come to leaders meeting. We'll talk about leaning back. And we might play some Fat Joe and the Terror
Don't dance before my
Squad.
bed.
Do the rock away.
Go to lean back.
Lean back.
Lean back. Lean back. I got that.
See, in the Bible,
I like that.
in the Bible, Jesus leaned back. It said he reclined.
Okay.
So we'll be talking about, Jesus had a lazy boy. We'll be talking about reclining in the faith. Enjoying your faith while you have your faith.
Come on, bro.
Nice.
You need to enjoy it. So if you want to enjoy your faith, come to leaders meeting. It'll be at 1:30.
Come on, bro.
Let's talk about leaning on. Leaning on a while. Turn me to John 13.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
I can get that song out of my head. I'm thinking about walk around the metal detectors.
Lean on me, bro. Lean on me.
Yep, lean on me.
Help him out.
In John 13, verse 7.
Come on.
Jesus replied, "You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand."
Amen.
Have you ever been there? You know, your parents start teaching you, it's like, see, this is what's going to happen with your friends. This is what they're going to be. This is what they're going to become. You see, you're not going to end up like that. And let me tell you what kind of person this is. And you're just like, I'm not talking about your friends like that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about these are my friends.
Yep.
And you don't understand it at the time. You don't realize what they're speaking of until later on you do.
Right.
Always, yeah.
You know, you start feeling like this when you have a child. It's like I tell my son, his name is Simba. Hey,
Come on,
look,
Simba.
no, don't do that. Don't go down there. No, look, I told you, don't. And at some point, you just gotta let him do it. And then he falls, and he comes back rubbing his head, and he starts walking up saying, it's like he wants me to kiss it. And sometimes I do it, but other times I'm like, no, just rub that thing. Because I told you what to do, and you didn't want to listen to me. No, from you. No, not today.
Not today.
You know, this is important. Because at the moment right now, you may be strong. But you do not realize that you will not always be.
Right. Come on, bro. Tracks.
It's important for you to realize that. Your hands, your body may be strong, but it may not last forever. You guys know who Ronnie Coleman is?
Yeah.
He's one of the strongest men ever. He's a super fit bodybuilder. He's an Olympian. He won it, like 7 or 8 times?
7 times in a row.
I mean, it was incredible. His body is so fragile now.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that his body would break down like that? It's no different than our lives. We're going to be talking about friendship and different levels to friendship. Let's talk about the first level of friendship. In John 15.
Come on, bro.
The whole song is about being a friend to someone else. In John chapter 15, it says in verse 14, "You are my friends if you do what I command. I no longer call you servants, because a servant does not know his master's business. Instead, I've called you friends, for everything I have learned from my Father, I've made known to you." Right here he says, you are my friends if you obey what I command. You know, there's something about that. You actually have to understand that there is a level of friendship and obedience to another person.
Yeah.
When you do that, they actually feel like, you know, you're their friend just because there's obedience. Now, this is a level of friendship in the Bible, but it's the most shallow one of all. You know, there's often times where people, they'll obey us, but we won't obey them. They'll listen to us, but we won't listen to them. So even though you may feel close to them, they may not feel close to you.
Yeah.
It needs to go both ways in order for you to have true friendship. The second is in verse 14. It says, you are my friends, or in verse 15, it says, I no longer call you servants because a servant does not know his master's business. You know, it's really interesting. You become someone's friend when they know your business.
Right.
It's really interesting. You can't help but to be their friend.
Right.
Because if you're mean to them, they know your business. Like, I don't know what you're going to do with that business.
Right.
So you have to.
Not too much.
It doesn't just say, you know my business. You know the Father's business. So it's really interesting as well. It goes a little step higher when you start telling them about your family's business.
Goodness.
You can be ashamed of me. But when you start realizing how jacked up my dad is, my mom, my sister, it's like, look, we're going to be friends for life now. And I'm going to make sure we're friends for life. Because I need to know what you're telling other people.
Yeah.
When you know your Father's business, you start giving that out, it's like, people start connecting dots. It's like, you start looking at them like, I know what you're thinking. I know you think that I'm jacked up.
Right.
And I see how this looks because my family's jacked up. But look, we all have sins. The question is, do you share your business?
Great question.
Do you share it? Or do you feel like it's just your business? You know, in a true friendship, they know how terrible you are.
That's true.
Right.
It's not a true friendship unless they know how terrible you are.
Yeah.
My wife knows how terrible I am.
You're amazing, honey.
Yeah, sometimes.
Come on, Alexis. There you go.
Sometimes.
It's not terrible.
She knows how terrible I am. But here's the thing about that is God, He sees us and He knows how terrible we are, but yet He chooses to see how great we are.
Yes.
Yep.
It says that He died for us while we were still sinners,
Yeah.
not when you overcame the sin.
Right. Come on, bro.
So He knows how terrible you are, but He still feels like you are worth the sacrifice.
Yeah.
And this is the same dynamic we need to have in our relationships with one another.
Come on, bro.
Let's go through the third level of friendship.
Okay.
In Proverbs 17.
Come on, bro.
Are you guys with me here?
Yeah. Preaching. We're with you, bro.
In Proverbs 17.
Come on, bro. Good.
If I can help you with anything, it's to learn how to be a friend.
Yeah.
Come on.
A true friend.
You're a good friend, bro.
Thank you, man. I'm trying. I'm
Bro,
trying.
you're
It's not always easy to be friend of y'all,
a great
man.
friend.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Great. You're doing good, bro.
In Proverbs 17.
You're doing good. There you go.
It says here in 17, verse 17, it says, a friend loves at all times and a brother is born for a time of adversity. It says a friend loves at all times. When does your love run out?
Okay.
Is it at every time? At every moment?
Come on.
It doesn't say how you're doing in those times. It just says you love at all times.
Yep.
So if there's still time on the clock, you should be loving.
That's good.
It also says a brother is born for a time of adversity. Why is this important? Because your adversary always appears during your adversity. Satan is always there.
Yeah.
So should your ally and your advisors. They should be there during your adversity because your adversary is always there.
Right.
He's always there. This is why we need a friend.
Yeah.
You know, I like that it says a brother is born for a time of adversity. It doesn't say a brother is born in the time of adversity. It says a brother is born for the time of adversity. Meaning you were born for the adversity, meaning that you're prepared. You should be prepared and understand that when adversity hits, guess what? You were born for that. So don't think that you know what? I can't handle that. I'm not ready for that. I don't understand that. I can't handle that person. I can't handle everything that's going on in their life. You were born for that.
Come on, bro.
You were born for that. That's why you are in their life. You're in the life of the person with all the problems because God believes you're part of being the problem solver.
Come on.
This is who we are. You know, real friendship, it needs to be tested to be proven genuine.
Yes.
Now, some of you call everybody your friend. You're not friends unless you've been through something.
Come on.
That was really interesting.
Come on.
We were in Seattle, and while we were there, I was driving, and I a lot of people in the car, so it was a little heavy. We had some stuff in the trunk, so it was a little heavy. But when I drove by this Mercedes Benz, and when I drove by it, I peeled off kind of quick, and I was close enough to it to where when I drove off, the car shook. While I'm driving, I turn another corner. The guy is on the side of me, and he's driving, hitting the gas and slowing down, like honking his horn. And I look over, and Alexa's like, what's up with them? I'm like, I don't know. I raise down my window, I'm driving like, what's up? He's like, you hit my car. I'm like, no, I didn't. I'm still driving though. He's like, yes, you did. You hit my car. I did not hit your car. When I hit your car? When you pulled off? No, I did not. He's like, you hit my... I said, all right, let's pull over. So we pull over. I'm in a car with like all sisters and a Lexus.
Okay.
So when we pull over, we go to this parking lot and 3 dudes jump out.
Oh.
And so I'm just trying to be careful. You know what I'm saying? I said a little prayer.
Come on, Nehemiah prayer.
I started thinking, I'm like, all right, Lord, you know, Samson took down 1,000 with a donkey jawbone. I'm gonna do, look, however you want to use me.
Not in front of my wife.
I'm your vessel.
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
If I need to minister, if I gotta fight for my life, I'm gonna fight for my life. Lord, I'm your instrument. So I pop out, and these guys, they pop, but they like walk towards me. And I'm like, no. So he pulls out his flashlight, and I'm like, hey, so what's up? He's like, you hit my car. And then before I can say, I didn't hit your car, Alexis is like, no, we didn't.
Yeah, Alexis. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm like,
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. She's like, no.
We got together.
And we're pulling out the flashlights and stuff, looking at the car. They're looking at theirs. She's like,
Atlanta came out.
For sure.
If you don't get back in that car and lock the door.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's out here getting all rowdy. Now, on one end, I thought to myself, Alexis is like, we're going to get beat up. We're going to get beat up together.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that was silly, man. What if they would have started hitting on you and trying to... And then I thought, man, I got me a real one. That's a ride or die right there.
Come on, bro.
She's like, look, we're going down together. I got in the car, and I asked the other one, I was like, I talked to the other sisters, why y'all didn't jump out of there? The sister said, well, bro, we're not married to you. I said, you're right. That's right, but you still should have jumped out of that car. Alexis was born for that adversity.
Come on, Alexis.
We didn't need to talk about, look, this is our game plan. I didn't even know she was out of the car. She was behind me like, what's up?
Yeah.
Born for the adversity.
Come on.
Look at Proverbs chapter 18
That's good. Come on,
and
bro.
verse 24. This is the next level of friendship. One who has unreliable friends soon come to ruin.
Well,
But there is a friend who sticks closer than a brother.
come on.
Come on, bro.
You see, what allows you to be someone who sticks closer than a brother. So it says a brother's born for adversity, and now there's something that sticks closer than a brother. It's someone who's reliable.
Yeah. Come on.
You cannot rely on the world to provide you things that are spiritual.
Right.
You can't be healed through a world that's broken. You can't expect to be more spiritual in a place that's incredibly wicked.
Right. Yep.
You can't expect to have advice or for someone to tell you how to be whole when they're so empty.
Right.
This is why God formed the church. It's not just a place of people that are whole, it's a wholesome place. And when we're not whole and we're incomplete, we're still striving for that, aren't we?
Yeah.
But that's not true for the world. We need each other. We need to be reliable.
Yeah. Come on.
You know, we love a reliable person, but we hate when people rely on us.
Wow.
There's sometimes I tap your shoulder sometimes for you guys to do something last minute, and because something may have fallen through, or maybe it's a short notice, but you're like, I need more time than that. To do what?
Come on, bro.
Walk down the aisles and help pass a tray down?
Well.
Is it to say your conviction on giving to God?
Come on, bro.
Is it to pray? You should be praying already.
Come on, bro.
This is who we have to be a reliable people.
Yes.
Now, you got to ask yourself, can God rely on you?
Come on.
Jesus was someone who let others see him weak. In John chapter 4, he asked the woman to meet his needs. And she gave him water. In Luke 2, it says that Jesus allowed himself to be taught in the temple. In Matthew 26, it says that he was overwhelmed and he allowed his people to be there with him.
Yep.
Now, this could have discredited Jesus, but he allowed himself to be overwhelmed. When you see someone is overwhelmed, you believe they've reached their capacity and they no longer can handle what they have.
Right.
And yet Jesus allowed them to see him overwhelmed. He allowed people to serve him in Luke 7. He allowed people to need him and cater to him. He wasn't just a servant, he allowed himself to be served.
That's right.
He allowed others to help him to carry the cross. He allowed people to celebrate him when he walked down the great procession with the donkey. They laid down olive branches. He allowed people to celebrate him. For some of you guys, you don't want anybody to know your birthday because you don't want anybody saying happy birthday. Let people celebrate you.
Right.
Do you want to be like Jesus? Jesus let people celebrate. Now, some of y'all want to be celebrated a little too bad. You want to be celebrated so well, you throw your own party. Hey, this disciple told me, I won't say the name. I said, how'd it go? How'd it go last night? They were like, well, it went well this morning. I sing happy birthday to myself. I'm like, that's miserable. Let other people do that. My second point is lean in the trial. Proverbs chapter 3.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Let other people celebrate you. You have to be humble enough to allow people to serve you, to lean on you.
Come on.
In Proverbs 3, in verse 5, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding.
Nice.
So before we talk about what to lean on or in, we need to know what not to lean on or in. Is your own understanding. You see, the passage that I looked at before when we started the sermon was really important to understand because it says you don't understand now, but later you will understand. Usually when we don't understand what's going on, we try to figure it out. This is what's happening. This is what's going on. This is why God's doing it. And with that, we don't really understand. But we start to lean on our own understanding because we don't feel like God is explaining things to us. What I want you to understand is with Job, guess what? God never gave him an explanation to why what happened to him. Isn't that incredible? He lost his children. His wife, we don't even know where she's at. She was an extra in the scene. She came in, she went out. Gone. We don't know what happened. I think he ended up getting a new wife. I don't know. But the lady, she wasn't a ride or die. You know what I'm saying?
He didn't have a Lexus.
He didn't have an Alexis. He had something else. He never explains it. Now, we know why he was doing it because there's dialogue between God and Satan. But he doesn't explain that to Job. That shows you can go through immense, incredible things, and God will not give you the why. And he doesn't need to give you the why. It's not about you understanding or knowing the why. It's about you getting through it. You see, if you get through it, you'll always find the why. But are you willing to persevere through it?
Come on, Mama Lisa.
Are you willing to persevere? That communion was incredible.
Come on, Mama Lisa.
It was incredible. Here, in James chapter 1, we're coming in for a landing, guys.
Come on, bro. Nice.
Preach, bro.
Come on, bro. Preach to me.
Let's talk about leaning in. In James chapter 1. It says here in verse 2, James 1.
Come on, bro.
Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance.
Nice.
And perseverance finish its work. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you. And I think that's really interesting. You can be at fault, and yet God will still not, he'll give you what you need without finding fault. Why? Because if you're foolish and you're doing foolish things, you need wisdom to stop being foolish. So he'll give you not a whole lot of wisdom. You still may be pretty foolish. But he'll give you enough wisdom to come out of your foolishness. That's the great thing about God. Because if he looks at your fault, you're going to stay foolish. So he gives you enough wisdom to come out of it and rise above it. This is how incredible God is. He gives without finding fault. And then it says he gives generously. Now it says here, you have to consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds. You know, oftentimes we get really frustrated when we're going through things because we're going through something called a learning curve. I don't know if you guys have ever run track. The passage I want you guys, Lilia, she's on track too. The passage I want you guys to meditate on this week is Hebrews 12 and verse 1 through 2. It says, let us run with perseverance the race marked out for us. So if you run track, the thing about track is when you're running a 200, usually you're lined up on a curve. And so it starts on a curve. So you're lined up and there's these markers. It's like a marker here, and then there's a marker here. So lane 1 is here. Lane 2 is here. Lane 3 is here. Lane 4 is here, and so on and so forth. Okay? So you're starting out the race feeling like someone is further ahead than me.
Okay. Here we go.
Does that make sense? The gun goes off. Boom. You start running. And usually when everybody catches up to each other, you know where that is? Is on the other curve. So they start running, and when you start running, then it looks like everybody's like this, but then when you start running, it just kind of evens out a bit. And then now then when you start going straight and you start going forward, now you can create the distance.
Yeah. Right.
But here's the thing. What you learn, any good coach tells you when you're in the curve, what do they tell you to do? Lean in the curve.
Yeah.
My coach is like, lean in the curve, lean in it, lean in it, lean in it. And so you're running like this.
Come on.
You have to lean in it. It's similar when you're biking, you're doing a marathon. You have to lean. Everybody's leaning to the side, right? And that's how you get through it. Is you have to lean. When you're driving, you got to lean in the.
Yeah.
You ever go down that parking garage at the airport?
Yeah.
Swirling.
Yeah.
You just this like this the whole time.
Yeah.
You got to lean in it.
Right.
Oftentimes, what we fail to do is lean into the trial. We lean away from it. But what happens? You crash like that. You crash like that. You have to go with the flow. You have to lean into it in order to get through it. All of us have a learning curve.
Yeah.
All of us are going to hit a wall where it becomes very, very difficult to get through it. And so what you need to do is lean in it. You have to consider it pure joy.
Yes.
Now you're able to enjoy it. Now you're able to enjoy it. You're able to enjoy the trial. You're able to go through it and actually be able to see that there is a way out that you will overcome.
Come on, bro.
This happens to us all. I want to close out with this story. There's an incredible guy named Luke Speckman.
Come on, Luke.
And Luke, I actually got baptized in his ministry in Phoenix. He and his wife, they do the Good News Networks. And Brandon always says, the best news you'll ever see. So I was in their ministry for a time, and he taught me something when he went to LA. He was being discipled by a guy named Joe Willis. Joe Willis, he was driving all the way from, I don't know, somewhere towards in the city. He was going all the way to Ventura. Ventura's pretty far. Dom knows this very well. He was baptized out there. So he's driving all the way to Ventura. And he starts telling Joe every week to have these discipleship times to sit down with one another. He says, man, I can drive into the city. I can do that. He's like, no, I'll drive to you. Then the next week, he's like, hey, how about we meet halfway? No, I'll drive to you. And the next week, and the next week, and this goes on for months. And then finally Luke is like, hey, so why don't you just let me drive to you? You never let me, why can't I meet you? And he said, because Luke, 10 years from now, I'm going to need a friend. So what he was doing was he was making deposits in his love tank. I want to help us all. You see, some of us understand inspiration. Others understand empowerment.
Yep.
But I think what all of us need to embody is endearment.
Yes.
The word endear, it means to make lovable. So if I endear myself to my wife, I'm making her love me.
Yeah.
I'm becoming more lovable for her. We all need to understand endearment.
Yeah.
Come on.
Endearment, you benefit because people love you more, but the route to endearment is you completely putting yourself down or aside and focusing on them alone.
Come on. Yep.
That's the thing about endearment. It's very rewarding, but it can be exhausting.
Yeah.
But it always pays off. You know, I want to go back to what that verse said, or in the song. It said, he says, lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. And it says, because it won't be long till I'm going to need somebody to lean on.
Yeah.
You know, guys, we need to lean towards allowing people to lean on us.
Yeah.
And guess what? what happens is the church becomes a better place for all.
Yeah.
I want to encourage you guys to allow yourselves to be leaned on so people can get closer to God
Come on.
and love God more than they ever have. And to God be all the glory.